Hello all, welcome to this afternoon's beer review. Yeah, so it's the 28th, only 3 more days until the end of the year, dry January. Um, it's going to be a little bit longer than January. I'm still going to try to think of things to review. Maybe books, I don't know. You know, I read a lot. You kind of notice I read a lot. Yeah. So, this is not. This might be the final review. This might not be the final review. I might review one more thing, but this might be the final review of 2022. And my, what a cursed year it was! Doesn't matter what your political beliefs are. It was just a cursed year. Yeah, all the years have been cursed since 2020. So, what is this that we are reviewing? This is from Firestone Walker. This is Primal Elements. Now, if you look it up online, it mostly describes an oak-aged sour ale. So, you know, a traditional sour as opposed to a kettle sour. But Untapped has it has that particular beer as no longer made. This one is a different can than the one I've seen on most of online, and this one says fruited sour ale, brewed with mango, pineapple, nectarine, and tangerine. So, while this is a standalone, it wasn't particularly expensive. It was slightly under $5 for this can. So, it's more expensive than I would expect a kettle sour to be, yet less expensive than I would expect an oak aged traditional sour to be. So, I'm not sure. It's probably not oak aged because that's the main part of the verbiage they took off. Whether it's still traditionally brewed, because you don't need oak in order to traditionally brew a sour, you just need time. I don't know. Also, too, not many reviews of this newer, updated version of this particular release. But as you know, I love sour ales of all types, which is why I kind of chose this one to be a sort of, you know, I'm not going to say goodbye because I'm still going to be making videos, but, you know, and it's not even the last alcoholic beverage because I'm probably going to drink New Year's Eve. So I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's a review. This is what it is. So let's pour this out, shall we? So, carbonated, nicely carbonated, sort of hazy orange yellow color with a frothy white head. It smells more of trad sour than kettle sour. There and what how I distinguish kettle sours is kettle sours will always have what I call that sweet tarts taste on the palate. You know, sort of like chalkiness as well as a minerality in the nose. I'm not really getting a minerality. I'm getting obviously a tartness. Um, some tropical fruit. The fruits added are not really standing out individually. It just kind of comes across as a sort of tropical fruit flavor scent. Sorry. Maybe the pineapple is probably standing out a bit more than the others. Not getting any wood, obviously. It wasn't aged in wood. Yeah, so Nectarine and tangerine really don't stand out. I wouldn't know how you would go and distinguish nectarine and tangerine, yeah, as an adjunct. It'd probably be very hard to kind of distinguish those closely related citruses when used as an ingredient. And maybe the mango is some of that. Uh, yeah, it's just kind of hard to distinguish it all together. Okay, onto the palate. This is quite tart. This is one of the most sour sours I've ever had. At the same time, there's still like flavor nuances there, but boy, this one make me want to pucker up. And that's rare, you know. I kind of I kind of chase taste extremes to a certain extent. Oh, this is 6.0 ABV, by the way. I believe I didn't mention that. Only 8 IBUs. Obviously, not going to be getting any sort of sense of hopping from this. What's interesting, even though that is extremely tart, so the acidity is very much through the roof, there's still enough residual sugars that that I get a sense of sweetness on the tongue, especially in the long finish. Yeah, there's definitely some tropical fruit that sort of resides on the palate. And is just perceptible above that really intense sourness. And that fruit is a little bit on the sweet side. Now, interestingly, the top note has something I've never really encountered in a sour before as well. There's a slight graininess to it. Usually, all malting is absolutely annihilated by this sort of intense sourness, but there's still a slight bit of graininess, cereal grains that show up in the top note, along with the fruit. The fruit is a bit more intense in the top note than it is in the actual nosing. Carbonation bite is pretty strong, but not as strong as the sourness. Kind of wonder what the oak aged version of this would have been like. Honestly, I think it would have added a nice layer of dimension to it. So definitely sour and definitely fruity. I'm enjoying it for what it is. Would I get this again? Oh, absolutely. I would like to actually pair this with some food, something really greasy. Find that like these sours, these highly acidic sours, really help in digestion of rich fatty foods. So a bit different from other fruited sours I've had due to the intensity of the sourness, as well as the fruit kind of showing up as a bit more there and sweet, as opposed to just sort of a scent. In fact, it's more on the palate than it is in the nose for a certain extent, which is usually the reverse of how it is with fruited sours. You smell the fruit more on the nose than have it on the palate. That said, I think I've really kind of said everything there is to say about this particular beer. I would try it again because I like sours. I gravitate towards them. I gravitate towards lagers, simple ales, and sours. What can I say? And wild ales too. Um, don't really drink IPAs anymore for pleasure. I'm burnt out on them. Plus, two, I tend to have a bad reaction, as you can notice. So yeah, if you like sours, definitely give this one a shot. Primal Elements by Firestone Walker. That, folks, is your beer review for this afternoon. Probably see you on the flip side of the year, most likely. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be, there may be one more, possibly two more reviews done before the New Year's, but I doubt it. This might be it. So, see you on the flip side, folks. Here's to a better 2023. That's for sure. Cheers.